Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean. And I'm so happy that you're here for part two of Purpose. Yesterday, we talked about purpose, how we had purpose in our addiction, how we had purpose in our recovery. And we're going to go into a little bit more depth about purpose. If you notice that when a person works for 20, 25 years or 30 years, they retire. And in that 25 to 30 years, they had purpose to go to work to complete their job. They built a life at that job. Their job, people on the job that have been there a long time know a lot about you. You know how the structure is. You know how things have changed with the company. You've been there for such a very long time, and you had purpose to do a good job to make sure that your pay goes up and not down. You had purpose. You felt good about yourself. You was applying yourself. You was taking care of your family. You've created a life for yourself. This gave you purpose. And then all of a sudden, you're not working anymore. You're retired. And the purpose that kept you going for all those years is suddenly gone. And they say, statistic-wise, that most people that retire within 5 years end up dead. And the reason I believe that happens is because they leave their purpose, what they did all their life to build their own empire, to build their life for their family, for their wife, their children, to live life on life's terms. And now their income is monetary value is at a state of particular rate now because they're retired. So now they have nothing but time at home. Purpose. So I believe that purpose makes us move forward in living our best lives. When we came from addiction, we had purpose to get our drug, to use it, and to make and find means and ways to get more. And we had purpose. No matter what type of drama we dealt with in our addiction, we had purpose to get more. We had purpose to cover up what we was doing. We had purpose of covering up that we was addicted to a drug. We had purpose to make ourselves feel better. Then we went into recovery, finding out that our way did not work, that our addiction has destroyed our lives and we don't know what to do. And we came into recovery. Recovery gave us purpose. Recovery taught you that you're not alone, that we're all here trying to stay clean and sober one day at a time. We learned that the information that a person shares about their recovery tells what they did, how they did it, and how they destroyed their lives. And they tell you what works for them and what does not work for them. And this information is supposed to help us not make the same mistakes as they did, or learn some skills to protect ourselves from active addiction again. Purpose. So recovery gave us another purpose to stay clean and sober, to make our lives better. We had that purpose. And as our lives got better, we felt good about ourselves. We started having pride about ourselves. We wasn't looking down on ourselves anymore because we was cleaning the wreckage of our past, and we was building a sound future in recovery. Purpose. So the point I'm trying to make is that we all need purpose in our lives. Because if we don't have a purpose to make our lives better, if we don't have a purpose to make a good, sound life, living a productive life in a chaotic world, we don't have that purpose, then our life feels meaningless. We feel like, what is there? Purpose. It's just like when a man meets a woman and he likes her. He has purpose now. He has purpose to get that woman to be a part of his life. His purpose is to make him his girlfriend. His purpose is to make him his wife, make her his wife. Purpose. So he does what he needs to do to accomplish this. Purpose. So for us to be happy and to live life on life's terms and to live our best life, we must have purpose in our lives. And one of the things as a recovering addict is that our purpose is to keep the focus on ourselves, because we know that we have put ourselves into active addiction and destroyed our lives. And now we have an opportunity to make our lives better. And we work towards them goals. And as our goals get better and we accomplish so much and we feel good about ourselves, then we keep moving forward. But the important thing that we need to know about purpose is that what's good for me may not be good for somebody else. My purpose, my direction is good for me, but it may not be good for somebody else. And my purpose should be directed on my actions and not nobody else's actions. Like they say in the program of recovery, it's a selfish program. Why? Because we keep the focus on ourselves to make our lives better, so we don't fall down into active addiction again. But also, the flip side to that is to share our message of hope and the persecution that addiction has given us to others, so they don't fall down the rabbit hole like we did. And it's up to them to find a way in recovery to make their lives better. And how they can make their lives better, how Robert can make his life better, is moving forward, living life on life's terms. Purpose. So what is my purpose? Well, when I completed the 12 steps a few times, and after having a spiritual awakening, I realized that I suffered in my active addiction for 40 years. And the pain that I experienced, the mental and the emotional pain that I've experienced for this long period of time, destroyed my life. And I don't want nobody else to go through what I go through. So I share my strength and hopes about recovery to move forward in recovery. And by me sharing to others about my addiction and how I can make my life better, and constantly keep the focus on myself protects me from going back down the rabbit hole into addiction. And I share this information with you, another recovering addict. So if we remember the 12 steps, after having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So I share my strength and hope with you. But the point that I want to make is that you have to have purpose. Purpose, and the purpose that I have now until the end of my life is to live life on life's terms and to live my best life in recovery. That's my purpose. My purpose is to keep the focus on Robert. My purpose is to make sure that I keep moving forward in my recovery. My purpose is to make sure that Robert doesn't make as many mistakes as he did in his past. My purpose is to stay focused on myself, to understand Robert, to know why Robert does the things that he does, to know why Robert feels the way he does about certain issues that come up, to understand Robert more. And as I understand myself more, I make less mistakes. So for part 2 in purpose, the main point I want you to remember is, number 1, keep the focus on yourself. Your purpose is to keep the focus on yourself to make your life better. Number 2, to understand why you feel a certain way about a situation that has happened and why you're feeling that way. How is it addressing it to you to make you feel this way? What is the connection to make you feel this way? So your purpose should be understanding and knowing yourself better. Because I learned in my active addiction for 40 years is that I was just dealing with solving an issue that came up, and then another issue came up. And I had no time to understand why I felt the way I was. I had to find a solution immediately without my feelings, emotions, or understanding why I feel that way. But now that I'm in recovery taught me that I need to understand myself so I have the right purpose in my life to make my life better. So I have the right purpose in my life to make my life better. I hope I shared some things about purpose that'll help you along in your recovery, because you are the most important person to yourself. You're the one that did the work to stay clean and sober. You. Yes, you. You're the one that went through the pains of looking at yourself and the mistakes that you've made. You forgave yourself and moved forward, where others did not forgive you and still hold you accountable for your past. And you allowed yourself to accept that they will never forgive you, but you'll keep moving forward and making your life better. But you feel good that you owned up to your mistakes, that nobody can hold nothing against you because you're living your best life. You have a great and wonderful day.